Very rare times, but
well, at times the Sacramento Kings as a whole played wonderful basketball.
Hey, they sure did. And you know what? Stats and the eye test back that up.
That's exactly right. Now, how do you want to do this? Because we're going to do the players in this segment. Now, do you want to go as a whole? Do you want to go individually? Or do you want to go both?
Both.
Okay, well, both, I would say they were a solid B. Now, by the way, and just to be clear, this is not grading the Kings based on what we expect out of the Kings.
No.
What we traditionally get out of the Kings. This is grading the Kings on the basis of what they do with the rest of the NBA. I would say De'Aaron Fox gets an A.
Yes.
Domantas Sabonis gets an A. Let's just get those right out of the way. When you make an all-NBA team, you get an A. Okay? So that's number one. Katie's still texting me. Yelling at me. She said, I changed my mind. I don't want to do the show with you. We'll just argue for 4 hours. Well,
that's actually
that's funny, thinking she has a say in anything. So just do what you're told and get in here tomorrow.
Man.
Just do what you're told. Get in here tomorrow for 4 hours.
Yo, I'm coming to work with a vest on tomorrow.
Wait till I tell her we can't go to breakfast afterwards because I got a thing. Like, that's literally the only reason she's coming in is because we go to Black Bear Diner afterwards. And
you know what, Katie? I'll bring you a Cliff Bar.
All right, so De'Aaron Fox, A, Sabonis, A. Also, by the way, let's not get into the whole like intangible off-field thing either. And I know that's going to hurt Harrison Barnes a little bit. I'm going to give Harrison Barnes probably a C. I'd C or C minus.
Really?
Here's why. I probably give him a C because on a night-to-night basis, he was usually given one of the toughest defensive assignments. Okay. That kind of stinks. You kind of got to count everything else. And,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can just look at the numbers.
His leadership, right. His leadership, his gluiness for the team has to be accounted. And those are his best assets. On the offensive side and as a whole for a 3 in this league, he's below average. He just is. You look at the numbers and he's below average. He's just below and he's, I think the bigger issue with Harrison Barnes, especially offensively, he's just incredibly inconsistent. And some of that inconsistency, to be fair, is because Harrison Barnes has his ego in check, and on nights where other guys are going, he's just as happy to let them be involved.
He'll let them cook.
I have no problems with that. But Harrison Barnes is an average to below average. When you look at the 30 starting threes in the NBA, he is probably around 17. And that's why if you 15's a C, that's why he's, between a C and C minus, I'll round it up and give him a C.
Yeah, I was going to go C plus B minus with Harrison, and I think that's actually a really good grade for him. I'm trying to find Jerry Reynolds was on yesterday with, I believe, Kyle and Whitey. And so I don't want to misquote Jerry, but I'm pretty sure he had pretty much, if I'm summarizing, saying at this point in Harrison Barnes' career, he might be better coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And I think we're there with Harrison, right? Like a really good rotational piece off the bench.
Unless he wants to make more money and go to a team that would have room for him as a 3. Maybe he goes to, I don't know, Charlotte or just a team that needs a 3, whatever it may be. I just threw that out. But
Charlotte needs an everything.
I'm just saying, teams that are on a lower rung than the Kings now, and he wants to cash out, or maybe he wants to be relevant. Keegan Murray. I would, again, this isn't grading Keegan as a rookie. It's not grading this is just grading Keegan Murray at his position, NBA player. I would give, it's either going to be a C plus or a B minus. Keegan was inconsistent at times. There were some really rough months for him.
I think there's really one rough month. There was one
very
in
rough
particular,
month.
But
I thought there were 2 that he alternated with Malik Monk. I'd have to go back and look where one of them would get cold, one of them would get hot type of thing. I thought through the season, normally you see rookies fade. I thought Keegan Murray was something that was really understated about his game, is how he improved defensively. His defensive instincts are there. Obviously, his shooting's fantastic, but really he was, again, this because he's a rookie, but that's not how we're grading. He's a very 1.5 dimensional player offensively. Most of what he was doing was running through plays, posting up, hanging out in the corner, and he'd hit his outside shots. And that's great. But let me just put it this way.
I can't hold that against him. I'm
not holding it against him.
But when we're talking from a grade standpoint, if like you're lowering a grade because of that, that's more in the design of the offense. And I mean, you heard guys say it in the playoffs. We got to get Keegan more looks.
Do you think Keegan Murray last year was a top 15 power forward?
It's hard to say power forward because, I mean, he just split time at both positions so much. And you could make the argument Harrison played the 4 too. I would put it this way when I'm looking at Keegan. You mentioned he kind of did 1.5 things. Though the one big thing he did was shoot the 3 ball. He did that, in the tops in the league, So if I'm grading Keegan Murray, I'm giving him a solid B just because the one thing that he was really asked to do, he did it at the highest level.
Sure.
That matters.
Let me give you a couple people here. Do you think Keegan Murray was better than Paul George? Paul George played in 56 games.
No, I'm going to say no.
Evan Mobley?
They got Evan Mobley as a power forward. I guess he's a power forward. I didn't watch a lot of Mobley, but I'll say no.
Kevon Looney.
I'm sure you could make the argument. Well, Kevon Looney's a center. I'm sorry. Especially on the Warriors. He's a center.
Aaron Gordon?
Not better than Aaron Gordon, no.
I think actually Keegan, well, I'll flip it to a B- then because he's lighting last because Giannis, Anthony Davis, Durant, Sabonis, Markkanen, Jaren Jackson, Christian Wood, Julius Randle, Pascal Siakam, who they all have listed at power forward. I would say that Keegan Murray in his rookie year was able to be slightly above an average starting power forward, if that's how we're going to list him.
Sure.
So then by rule, he's a B-. And by the way, for a rookie, he's an A+.
Oh,
on a playoff team.
On a playoff team where he was asked to start. And again, let's keep the context here. This isn't a snuck into the 8th seed playoff team. This was the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. And he did everything he was asked and then some. So from a rookie standpoint, I don't think this campaign, all of the context considered, could have gone.
Campaign's a guard.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also really good at doing like elections and stuff.
Okay,
I don't think you could have. I think this is exactly how, if you're a Kings fan, you wanted this to go for Keegan Murray. Like, you couldn't ask for a whole lot more.
I could not agree with you more. Now let's get to, I think, the toughest starter to grade, to be honest with you, is Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter's our guy. Big Kevin Huerter fans, but that's not what we grade at. We're also, these are regular season awards. I'll give Kevin Huerter a solid C.
Really?
Yeah. Again, do I think he's a top 15 shooting guard? Questionable. He could be a C+. I'll give him a C+. Kevin Huerter was like a lot of the Kings shooters. He was inconsistent. Here's the good. Kevin Huerter plays adequate defense, if not slightly plus. Overall, he can get caught like everybody else, and he gets caught a few times. But his effort on defense and his ability to stay with his man is something that's, if it's an average NBA defender, it's an elite Kings defender. He started out gangbusters. I mean, literally on a record pace for efficiency. There was some inconsistency there for sure. And again, playoffs don't matter. I'm talking my way into a B-. I had to talk my way up.
I was going to say, I was actually going to give Huerter a solid B.
Yeah.
I mean, career high in points. Guy shot almost 50% from the field, 40% from 3. Those are some really good shooting numbers. Like you said, inconsistency, but I land on this, especially with role players, because the term role player gets a bad name. But, Kevin Huerter's a role player, and he plays his role exceptionally great. And you need great role players if you're going to win in the NBA. The one thing that stuck out about me was he played that role very well. And with role players, they're all inconsistent. That's why they're role players. The vast majority of role players are inconsistent to a degree.
Yes.
The stars are the ones that do it for 75 out of 82 games. That to me is always the biggest difference. You know, Harrison Barnes is a guy you look like everyone's always like, man, if he were just consistent, he'd be a star. You're right. But he's not. That's why he's a role player. They're all inconsistent.
We'll take a break. When we come back, let's get to the front office. Monty McNair specifically, moves they've made as we run through a postseason grade of the Kings right after this.